'cause you can afford it. Alright, good day, good afternoon. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, about to be 3 a.m. As I approach my impending doom, if you know what I mean. I figure I have a lovely tale I'd like to mention, because this is something that has been bothering me because I keep bringing it up because I can't get it out of my head. I would like to tell you about the biggest loss I've had in life. Now, for someone who has a very uneventful life, where easily 80% of it has been sitting in my room playing games. Of course, this mighty loss doesn't come from some failed performance at a talent show, some terrible mishap at school regarding a project, or, an incident where I ended up, who knows, having an accident in front of a bunch of family members. No, no, no. My greatest loss in life came sometime with me playing Fortnite. Now, no. My greatest loss wasn't Fortnite itself. This was sometime around its 10th season in Save the World, around when Hit the Road became a thing. Now, Fortnite, as everyone knows, they got all of their money from their cosmetics. It is the driving force that keeps people playing that game to win, so to speak, and to look really freaking cool while you do it. All their billions of dollars have come from their cosmetics, and so they found excellent ways to milk more money out of that, such as fear of missing out, classic FOMO, exclusivity deals with certain brands like Samsung, Galaxy. Their most popular being the iconic skin with the scenario dance. Now, do I know much about these two? No, as I joined Fortnite very late. Apparently the promotion started around Season 8 or something, although I swear I've been seeing that thing since forever, but I don't remember the history, and quite frankly, I didn't look it up a second ago before I started telling you about this. So, iconic scenario. As far as I understand, it is based off of a K-pop band or something. I guess some music, dance group, whatever, the two can get mixed up easily. And the big thing that people really wanted with this deal, and the way you got it was by having this like S10 phone or whatever, basically a very expensive phone, one of those near $1,000 phones, and if you got it within that time constraint, I guess, and then logged into Fortnite on that phone, I believe you would get it. It wouldn't last forever. None of those things lasted forever, as they had other sponsors like the Honor Guard, Wonder, Rogue Spider Knight, Galaxy. The Galaxy, I believe, was the first one. But Iconic Scenario was definitely the biggest one, and people really wanted that scenario dance. Let me tell you, it was basically just a snippet of the actual song. I don't know the song by name, I'll just call it the scenario song. And the emote was basically a dance made by, I guess, the group, and music straight from the song. And let me tell you, it is a banger. It definitely, I can understand the hype, and I can understand the lust for it. So sometime around Season 10, when Hit the Road was going on and Save the World, I don't know what came over me, but this was an interesting part in my Fortnite experience where I was still a mostly positive player, so, I wasn't thinking about all the negativity, because I was still progressing through the game. I couldn't tell you if I was in Twine Peaks around that area, but somehow through the grapevine, probably from Simon Says or something, I discovered, lo and behold, gross, lo and behold, somehow I could obtain something that would be normally be locked behind a $800+ paywall for only $30. How was this possible? With the power of FN bundles. So, I looked up, I was looking up Iconic Scenario, maybe looking up the dance itself to listen to the music or whatever. Who knows? I wish I had a stronger memory to tell you exactly how I came to this. But eventually through time, I discovered websites that offered to sell these things. Now, I'm not. This is approaching a year ago. I'm not going to say it was over a year ago. It was under a year ago. It's kind of right around that perfect bracket, where I couldn't tell you which it would fit under. So I'll just say this all happened about a year ago. So I wasn't stupid back then, and I figured something like this obviously must be fake. It's gotta be fake. You can't possibly just $30, okay, this will land in my account. I decided, I'll entertain it, and I researched it. I researched FN bundles and their credentials. Lo and behold, they had, all this is past tense, and because they're nowhere to be seen now, but I'll explain why throughout the story, I looked up their credentials. So it was a pretty standard issue looking website, kind of like one of those where if you click a link you could potentially get information leaked. It was a very weird looking website. But I looked at it. I looked up their stuff. They had a Discord. They had many people who would verify them on Twitter saying they are indeed legit. They had people on YouTube that would, record, see, and show you that they actually did their thing. And their service was all live, in the sense of if you had any difficulties getting the process done, that they had people live there helping you get things done. So with all this, I engaged all forces. Do not ask me what I was thinking, but clearly I didn't care. And so, I did business with them. So, to give you a synopsis of the process of getting Iconic Scenario, essentially, you would need to give them your Epic Games account. Give them your Epic Games account, $30, which means, credit card information and stuff, with some information blanked out so, they couldn't just steal your identity and be placed in prison. But the biggest thing was really just giving them your Epic Games account, and through their service, they will give you this exclusive thing. So, it took me about a day. I was talking with them with their live service, their live chat. Their live chat was indeed live. I was talking to a human being. And after about a day or some change, this was before the Rona hit, so I was in school. In school is when I did the last of the process with my phone in the cafeteria, and then when they said a disclaimer on their site that after everything is done and dusted, it may take up to a day for you to find your items in your account. After finishing everything in school, by the time I arrived and went back home, lo and behold, I logged on to Fortnite and I saw Iconic and Scenario in my account. So, by the power of $30, I got something that people paid $800+ for. And boy, was I feeling euphoric. In a game all about flexing just how cool you look and what cosmetics you have and what people can't obtain, I was living it up. Although, I was fully aware of what I had done. So it's not like I was acting high and mighty and lying, saying I got fat stacks and 50 racks. No, I was very open about what I did in the process of doing it, mentioning just how stupid it was, but the thing was, it worked, which is unlike anything I've ever heard, or anything I've ever seen. Something that nonsensical actually not being a scammer get scammed in my home base. This service worked, and I got what I was promised, and I was living it up for the longest time. Let me tell you, it was a running gag at that point, where I would just randomly do the Iconic Scenario dance and just flex about how good it felt to have it, Because it was a very clout-filled dance. Mind you, nothing here is about the skin. It's mostly about the dance that people care about. The Scenario dance. So, later down the line, Epic made a post on Twitter, or some form of media, who knows, maybe their Trello or something, saying that they would be cracking down on things like fake V-Bucks and items delivered through services that aren't Fortnite themselves. Third parties, whatever they're called. And I figured, okay, so I had this feeling that I fell under that label, and they didn't say they would be deleting your account or whatever. Basically, they'll just be removed. They have a way to know that you didn't get it legitly, and they could remove it from your account, being V-Bucks, certain cosmetic items, which would be my Iconic and Scenario. Now, this took a long time to happen. I had Iconic and Scenario on my account for many months. So much so that I'd say the money was worth it. The $30 was well spent, I would say, for the longest time. But at some point later, I'll say a safe estimate being 7 to 8 months later, lo and behold, Epic finally got to me, and I logged on one day to see a message saying something about your account was found, and we essentially have removed Iconic and Scenario. So, it became a running joke between my friends that still lasts to this day that I got scanned by FN Bundles. But that isn't why I randomly say FN Bundles throughout the day. The reason why FN Bundles is a constant thought in my mind at all points in my life isn't because of that. It's because of what happened later. Essentially, they tried to steal my Fortnite account. I logged onto Fortnite one day, and I was very confused, because it appeared as though I had never played the game before. Now, Fortnite, if you don't know, is a shared game in the sense that its three modes, Save the World, Battle Royale, and Creative, are all on the same game. There's not a separate Fortnite Save the World game, there's not a separate Fortnite Battle Royale game. You go on Fortnite, and then you have those three modes available to you. So when I went on Fortnite one day, it seemed as though I had never played the game. Now, I'm not someone to panic immediately upon seeing something weird like this, so I chalked it up to, you know, just a simple glitch. I'll reset my game, go back on, and everything will be Gucci and the Hoochie. But I will not deny, it was very weird. Lo and behold, it didn't work. I logged back on to see the same issue. It looked as though I had never seen Fortnite before, and this is the first time logging in. And let me tell you, that looked very weird. Being a new player to Fortnite is very oppressive. It looked strange. This is something you're never supposed to see again. You know, this is something you only experience once in life, you know, being a new player to a game. And after having played the game for approaching nearly a year at that point, it was very strange. So I said, okay, that's strange. Let me reset my Xbox, because of course if resetting the game didn't work, surely resetting the Xbox would. To the shock and awe of absolutely nobody, it did not work. So at this point, I knew exactly what happened, but I didn't want to say it. And in my head, I knew FN Bundles knows that they've been got and all of their services were for nothing for everybody, including me. And now they're trying to snatch everyone's account because we all gave them our account information to them. So, through the powers of my good friend and fellow gamer Armando, an amazing person at Epic Games support team, through multiple days, after about 2 or 3, I was able to get my Fortnite account back. Never mentioning a word of how this even happened, Armando, said this is an issue many people have had, and he said it is what was called a ghost account, where essentially something would happen to where the game would act as though you don't exist anymore because someone was hijacking your account. And the reason we both knew that my account was getting hijacked is because this was back then to where, you know, school was still in session, and I linked my Epic Games account to my school email because I hadn't had an email at that point, and I linked basically everything to my school email. And I didn't check. This all happened, I think, either over a break or over a weekend. So the next time I checked my laptop, which is before I knew everything bad was happening, I noticed activity from a PlayStation was on my Epic Games account, which should only be linked to my Xbox. And so when I saw that, that's how I knew what was going on. But I didn't mention any of this to Armando, and through the powers of Epic Games' incredible tech support, and Armando being one of the best humans on planet Earth, I regained access to my account, and after some time, I essentially opened up to some of my folks as to what happened. And to this day, it is still a running gag that I, as much as I harp about my incredible intelligence and how very egotistical I can seem, was dumb enough to give my Epic Games information to Indian tech support with the allure of cosmetics that nobody cares about. And because of that, I almost lost something that I once deemed precious, being my entire Epic Games account. And remember, this was in a point where I truly loved Save the World, which I still do. I still love Save the World, but when I was an avid player, and I had no intentions of stopping. And so to lose what was approaching to be years of progress like that, like some juvenile, it stung deep. But God bless Armando, God bless America, our great nation, and the powers at hand, because somehow I am a recovering victim of the blights of FN Bundles. And that, everyone, is the greatest loss I've had in life. Do not be scammed by FN Bundles, because this is something that will never leave my mind. I'm not kidding when I say I think of that company every single day, and I'll randomly say their name because I'm traumatized by what FN Bundles did to me. Trash.